Hello everyone, welcome to Pallegney. So this is a brand new-ish map. I think it came out a little while ago, but this is the first video on it. So I did change a couple of the equipment around, not too much. I added this Veltra and I sold the original John Deere it started with. And I think I changed the flatbed. I'm trying to think here. I don't think I really changed too much, but... Now, I changed the baler, too. Because the baler was, for some reason, minus, like, 1,500% maintenance. So, and I kind of wanted a square baler anyways. So, yeah. And we did do a direct drill. I did buy that to add that in here. But, yeah, otherwise it's fairly standard stuff. I didn't want to change too much around, at least, so... Yeah, I think we'll get this field going first. I probably should get that a little bit farther away from the actual wheat, barley. I think it's a wheat field if I remember correct. Yeah. Because we do start with some chickens. I think it's like 20 chickens we start with. There's a total of 30 it can fit in there. And we don't have any food after they're out. I think they have 700 liters in there and that's it. So we're going to have to make sure we get them some food fairly soonish. And I did change some of the fields around. I bought fields that are closer to us and sold the ones that were farther. They're about the same size. I just wanted them to be a little bit closer. Probably should get this unfolded. That would help quite a bit. Yeah, this is a French map by MA7 Studio. It is on ModHub, and I believe it's on all platforms. So, yeah, I don't think I'll do straw yet. Yeah, I don't think I'll do that. There is like a built-in kind of dairy almost, or cheese production right on the farm itself. So I'm definitely going to try to get cows or water buffalo fairly early on. I think that's going to be a need item almost. Really help us get off the ground quickly. Yeah, there's 86 fields. And I believe, 10 plots of forest. A stream called the Dubian. And there's several innovations. Roofs on houses get wet during rain. I'm trying to read this and drive, and it's, yeah. I'll probably just set a worker on this. That might be the best bet. Yeah, roads get wet, dry, frost over winter. You may see puddles of water in certain fields. Some factories with new functions, like the sawmill and mills. I haven't checked those out, so we might want to try to remember to look at those. Cheese production built into the farm, like I said. A secret quest about the history of a funny animal from the Vosages. I believe that's how you say that. And then new decor and stuff like that. Yeah, it is a French map, so I might mispronounce some things. I hope I got the name of the map, or the map name correct at least, but... Alright, so I think we'll probably want to hop over to the Veltra. I'm probably going to park these. I probably should park them, honestly. I'll probably do that right now, because the only time we're going to need them is... This is a mod, if you're curious. Since we're not going to really use them outside of when we need to obviously use them for wood products, it looks like. We actually start out with a fairly good amount of seeds, it looks like. And a front loader class tractor there. We have basically everything to do the cows. We just need food. We don't have food. So I think that's what I'll set this out in. Because I sold, I think we had like 92, 91. I sold those and bought 88. It's closer to the farm. And I think we started out with a field like down here, and I bought one closer. It's just try to make things a little bit closer so we're not driving all over the countryside just to get to one field. A couple silage pits, which we'll likely do at some point if we try to do total mixed ration. 3 total silage pits, so quite a bit actually. Try to drive around here. That was kind of the pro, was this grass field is a ton closer, so you didn't have to drive nearly as far to pick up bales or anything like that. I believe this said it was ready to harvest. At least it said it was. Full the yield bonus. Well, not full the yield, but 97% is basically full. And 100% fertilized, so. It's a fairly large grass field. And actually, one thing I noticed pretty early on. What does this shape look like? This whole shape in here, kind of around this grass field. I think it kind of looks like a duck, but I noticed that pretty early on. I was like, that's just such a small little detail that I thought was really cool. I think they should just barely be able to power this. That's kind of my concern, obviously. We went with the 200 horsepower version of this, I believe. It should be able to, pull everything that we have. And then the class that's on the farm, that's kind of just going to be around the actual farm tractor. It has the front loader on it, so we'll need it for that. But it's probably not going to do a ton of field work, I wouldn't think. Outside of maybe some minor things here and there, but yeah, this is it's a beautiful map. It really is. It really is. A couple hot air balloons in the air. I think there's a couple. Maybe only one. Nope, there's 2. There's one right over there. Just basically on top of the rocks there. This is a fairly sizable grass field. We'll get a ton of probably hay. I'll probably try to tether it, put it into hay. I think that'll probably be the best bet. That's so weird how it doesn't. Huh. Is what it is. Of course, we start with a silo kind of built into the building here, so you don't really notice it, but it is here. Oh, I have this attached to the weight. I just now realized this. Yeah, open cover. There we go. If I don't need it for this field, I'll likely need it for the one right over there, because I'll probably try to get 2 fields harvested today. And hopefully get that field cut at least. We don't own a tedder, far as I know, so we'll likely have to rent one or buy one. Yeah, that's a negative. We do not own one. So we'll have to probably get one rented, is my guess. We'll see how long it takes for that field to get finished down there. I don't even see them. Wait. I was wondering what was going on down here. Just have to use super strength to get them out of that, but yeah. The workers are much improved from 22. They still sometimes do some interesting things. To put it nicely. we go. So we'll just quickly do that one piece right next to the edge so they don't hopefully get caught in a tree again. It'd be nice to get this done. And then is that canola? I think this is canola up here, right? Yes. We start with quite a few smallish fields. They're not like massive, but you know, a couple of small fields do still equate to quite a bit of crop in the end. You know, if we want to plan it out, and let's say, as an example, we don't have a planter, so we can't, but if we wanted to line it up and do a bunch of soybeans, we could. We would just have to probably do multiple fields of it to really make it worth it. Which we can't, because we only have a seeder, but you know, any other crop, same way. We would have to line it up in such a way. I'm curious, does this have a grain extension I could put on it? I'm just kind of curious. Like, I'll go down to harvesters. Is this it? Yes. There's not a grain extension. Okay. Just curious. This is probably a, you know, a little bit smaller scale, you know, farm almost. So having huge equipment probably is not going to be a thing. We're probably not going to have any massive 40-foot headers and stuff. I don't think this farm is quite built for that. And getting that in from the road might be difficult, but yeah, I'll have to try to remember to check out what the sawmill and mill as additional functions. I'd be curious what it is. I could probably rent one and kind of do that. I think I still have that mod active, the rent production mod. I could rent it, kind of see what the difference is. See if there is much of a difference. You know, that might, you know, kind of give us an idea of things we want to do in the future. So if there's something we can do different in it, maybe it would make sense to buy that production or lease it. Honestly, I might want to see if I can buy a tedder, because we'll probably be doing quite a bit of hay and stuff, or potentially silage in the future. So it might be something we want to look to buy, a tedder or windrow. I know there's some mods I have active, but not that many, so I have more windrow ones. Yeah, I have this one in here now. And this one. Some good options in here. Now, even if, you know, this one's obviously more money than this, and it's not as wide, I still usually add them, because if it goes up in a sale, it ends up being a better deal than the other one. Sometimes, even if it's not going to be something that you'll buy when it's new, it might come up in a sale, and it's like, well, that's not too bad. And obviously, like, tractors and stuff are a little bit pricey sometimes in use, just because the maintenance costs are quite high usually. But like a windrow, in Farming Sim, it really doesn't matter what the maintenance level is on it, it's still going to do its thing. Obviously, in real life, if you're missing stuff off of it or whatever, it's not going to do what it needs to do, but Farming Sim, it don't matter, so still try to keep things somewhat maintained at least. And I think if I was a guessing man, that grass field will likely be finished pretty late on, so we probably won't get tethering done today. Maybe we can look to get cows or water buffalo next time. We've done water buffalo fairly recently, obviously on Houton Pantai. We could do cows. I've yet to do cows in 25 at this point. Water buffalo. Ooh, the buffalo mozzarella is just so good. Tough. It's tough to pass up. It's tough to pass up. Well, we can get this here finished, and then we can get it into the silo. The chickens are right now full. They start full of food, so we don't gotta worry about it, you know, right away. But I'd be curious how close they are to reproducing. Till the the pen's gonna be full. Well, pen. It's more of a they kind of free roam, but it's a pen. Now let's take a look how close they are. Right now they are 0, so it'll be a couple of months. 6 months can reproduce. I don't know quite how long the period is though, and I guess the productivity is obviously quite low right now too. Obviously no water buffalo or anything in here. At some point, it will try to get total mix in there. They start with meadow, obviously, but I'm not gonna buy them thinking, oh hey, they have meadow grass, and it's not gonna be that great of a productivity level for them. It's basically just keeps them fed. So it's not always worth it in that case. Oh, almost 9,000 liters of wheat, so this should keep them fairly happy for a while. Actually, nice part about the canola is its highest price in November, so we'll be able to sell it fairly soon. That'll be nice. I was going to check out a mill, because obviously it said there's different functions. I was just curious. That's a biogas BGA. I'm assuming this is like a grain mill? Or an oil mill or something? Again, French map, but $958. Okay. It charged us, I'm guessing, for that, but oh, we could do oil and stuff in here. So we could do canola oil, right? Yes. I don't plan on doing the flowers quite yet, because I do want to obviously keep a decent amount of wheat on hand. We could do canola oil. That would be a little bit more, obviously, money. It's not that far out from us. Oh, that does not charge us yet. Okay, I was just curious. And I'll probably keep that actually rented for a little bit. We'll probably do canola oil. I'll look at this as well. $821. I don't see anything different here. Maybe there is, and I'm missing it, but still. Alright, so we'll just get that. I'm not sure if we'll get charged for that little bit of leasing. If we do, I'll try to add the money back in, but because obviously we didn't do anything with it, so probably should be charged for something we didn't use. Yeah, the canola then I'll probably put in there. I don't know how much we'll get from it. Kind of depends on how much we get from the field, from the harvest. But it might be worth it. Fairly decent sized canola field. And we do have this small one down here as well. That is ready to harvest. I don't think it has, yeah, there's no fertilizing or anything like that. We can hopefully get this field done, and then maybe we'll try to do the small canola field too. Get all put into the oil there and sell that. I think canola oil is also like a November type crop. I know canola is. Like November, December. Canola oil. There's cornflower in here. Oh, there's a couple different things. I may not notice that when I was going through there. Anyways, canola oil, December. Did I not notice that? I don't see it in here. Like cornflower and stuff, I guess, is a thing. Not sure what would make that though. Looks like there's 4 productions on here. The bakery. Maybe the bakery would. I don't know. There's no sell point for it though, so the bakeries probably make cornbread. Well, yeah, canola's usually not a high yielding crop. It's just the money amount's pretty decent. These are pretty poorly fertilized fields. I don't think they have been fertilized at all. So they're not great in that area. So these are probably as worse as the yields can get at this point. Well, I think I'll probably just go ahead and start with time lapse. We'll try to finish out this field. So I'll talk to everyone once the time lapse is done.
I don't wanna fight this. Let it take me. Kinda wanna risk it. Maybe break me. Are we capable or unstable? Living on a landslide. Even when we're alright. Living on a landslide. Even if we're alright. Riding through the unknown. Better hold tight. Over climbing this slope when it's this high. Are we capable or unstable? Living on a landslide. Even when we're alright. Living on a landslide. Even if we're alright.
Alright, so on the last strip of the canola. Let me get this brought over to the mill, which isn't too far away. Just down the road. Hey, it's 2 hot air balloons. I've seen more on this map than I think I've ever seen in my farming sim time. The little bit of time I, for setup and stuff for this, and, in the last little bit for recording, I've seen so many. I'm guessing it's the same ones, obviously, but it's like, is this like common in like French, France area, or wherever this map is kind of at? I've hit the wrong button twice now, but is that like common? A lot of hot air balloons and stuff. I'm just curious. It's a rare sighting. It's like, you basically never see it where I'm at, so I'm just like curious if it's like common. I think in Court Farm in FS22 I saw him a decent amount of time there. That was a Europe map? Somewhere in Europe? UK? I don't quite remember where that one's at, but I've seen him a lot, so Kind of curious if it's like a common place. So I think we'll just park this here. We can probably do this little canola harvest down here next time, and maybe we'll do the, was it wheat field? Yeah, it looks like wheat. Right with it. Both pretty small fields. Should be able to get them done fairly quick. I would think the amount of canola we have here should last a little while in here. They are almost done here, so that's pretty good timing. 12,500 liters here, which I think equates to like 6,000 liters of canola oil. It's almost double the price, though, so it's a quite a nice bump to obviously make it into oil. It'll take a little while to actually get it all made in there, though, so that'll be a little bit unfortunate. We may not be able to sell it right away. I'm gonna mark that on my map because is it here, right? Nope, it's here. Because otherwise I am 100% getting lost. Yep, grass field is done. As far as I know, we drive on the right side of the road here. As far as I know. At least based off of the other traffic, I'm assuming. We go here. It's a little, what, church? Looks like a church. The fountain and everything there, that's pretty nice. Then we own these two fields right here, which long term I would not mind trying to probably cut, what, one tree down, it looks like, and then just combining them because they're right next to each other. We do still own a plow. I did not sell that because I figured we may want it in the future. Get that put in there, and I will get the canola oil activated. Okay. Like I said, wheat and stuff we probably won't make into flour. I don't think it's quite worth it for that. It's probably best to keep it for chickens, that kind of thing right now. And with it, with us having a decent stockpile of it, it's not a ton, but we'll have a little bit of a stockpile. It does keep us from having to do more fields sooner. I'm not quite sure where that's gonna spawn, but I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. But first stage of the grass field there is done, so we'll likely get it tethered next time. We have windrow as well. We'll probably be leasing things and hopefully try to bale it as well. I think after that we can probably look to get cows or water buffalo, either or. Right in here. A little bit wide. Like I said, you definitely don't want too big of equipment in here. Trying to get through some of the doors and stuff, probably just, it's not gonna be quite possible. This looks pretty done. Can't complain, can't complain. Yeah, the tethering will take a little while, as well as the windrow. You can look at the options. Like, I could go out and rent one of the larger ones. which would go a lot quicker, but it's also a lot more money. Because this is 840, and this is almost 2.25, basically. Windrow. That's 1,300, which I think we'd lease that one probably. The other ones are quite a big jump. Could also buy a tedder, and we could buy, this one, for example. Maybe something will pop up in the sales. Maybe. I'm just going to double check to make sure they got every bit of this, but it looks like they did. Yeah, I certainly don't see any missed, so we'll likely get it tethered, windrowed, and hopefully maybe baled next time. And kind of depending on how well the mill is going through the canola, we might do canola harvest. The one small canola field. Not much there, but it might be worth doing if we're running low. Get it in there sooner, that way we can end the lease, obviously, and not be charged for a little while. But anyways, that is everything for today. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.